welcome back. So this is a long distance love. Okay, so I've put it as distant because I'm going to do this split into two. The request was about long distance relationships, and a few of you have asked about that. So it's going to be to do with those of you that are in long distance relationships, but I'm also doing distant. So if your person has been distant with you, so we've got distant and distance in this reading. Okay, so we're going to have, this is going to be deck number 1 and this is going to be deck number 2. So have a think about you and your person and let me get your mutual energies. It's my little OCD wanting the cards right way up. Deck 1, deck 2. Let's see where we're going. That one's got heavy. That one's a little bit. Okay, so can I get into the mutual energies of those that have picked deck number 1, please? Distant or distance love. The collective watching for deck number 1. The collective watching for deck number 1. Okay, and can I get, think about your person, into their person's thoughts, feelings, emotions, thought processes, and overall energy of deck number 1. And can you tell me, please, for those of the collective in distant and long distance relationships, can you tell me what is going on with this situation, please? 2 more and we're good to go. So your person is feeling quite trapped at the moment, and they're not feeling able to communicate with you what's really kind of going on within their head. There's a lot of fears that are rising to the surface with all these points that are kind of pointing at them. I'm just showing you this before I start reading properly. The light is still kind of overcoming the dark. They still see the positive side of it with you, but the darkness is creeping in on them. And with the blue around the neck, it's like they can't kind of get out what they want to say to you. So they kind of, they hide away from the emotions. They try to work on logic, and they do, when they do try and talk to you about emotions, they either do it when they're in the middle of escapism behaviour, so they either drink or running away from things, etc, etc. So that's some of you, that's not all of the collective, by the way. They try and talk to you then, or they just shy away from it. But it's because they are feeling stuck by the situation at this point in time. So that is whether you're in a long distance relationship or whether your person is being distant with you. Can I have the cards, please, about long distance and distant love? 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3. Cards are really good, guys. Just want 2 more. Let's hope they carry on being good. Okay. So there are a lot of fears in this relationship. This relationship is going well if you take your fears out of it and they take out the feeling of being trapped. What's kind of happening, the majority of you with this collective reading in this cycle, is you are panicking in a long distance relationship, or if they're being distant, it doesn't really matter, that they are being distrusting towards you, that they are going out and doing things. The majority of you, this isn't the case. These are just your fears. But because this is happening in your head, then you're questioning them about it, and then they feel stuck by the situation. So you're kind of stuck in a catch-22, both of you. They tell you quite a lot of times that there's nothing going on, and you still worry and you still panic and you still feel like, oh, what if, and that is what's happening. Not all of you in this deck, but quite a lot of you, that is what's going on. A lot of fear. Some of you have been cheated on before. Some of you have already been cheated on by this person, but you know that. So again, anyone that is thinking, oh, I don't know about that, that's fear. Okay, that's the majority of you, it is fear. So remember that. Things are turning in your direction. What they're doing at the moment is they're taking a leap of faith with the situation. You're trying to work it all out. You're trying to work out what the best thing is to do. But you're going to keep on ploughing through. You're not going to give up on this person. You feel like you want to a lot of the times, and they feel really frustrated with you a lot of the times. Two very conflicting energies. Again, it's that hurricane tornado situation. The heart-centered emotions are there. You're thinking it all through. Your rose bush, not even roses, they're like yellow flowers, don't know what they are coming to the surface. Everything's starting to blossom, and your person's getting frustrated, but they've got the pink flowers, you've got the yellow flowers. They have love for you, and you're worrying about your confidence and what they're up to and what's going on and how you're thinking and how you're feeling. And that's where your mutual energy is at this point in time. They're trying to put everything into perspective. Some of them have gone away if it's a long distance, some of them are away doing studying. They are sitting on top of it. They are quite stable. They're feeling stable with the way he's sitting on these books. He knows what he wants in life. This person, I say he is because he's a man on the card. Sorry lads, I always do it. You know, he knows what he wants. But again, these three pentacles is always third party to me. They're above, and you're panicking and you're worrying. And it's driving them mad, so they hide. That's happening as well. Not all of you. Again, that isn't all of you, but that is quite a few of you in this collective reading. This reading split into quite a few different parts, with your distance, and those of you that are in fear of the third party, those of you that have reason to be in fear of the third party, and those of you that don't, and that is fear. So that's what's happening. The good news is it's moving. This situation is shifting in your direction. Okay, once you start releasing these fears, you need to both echo on that. In this reading, for the collective, try not to let these fears get to you. Try and release them the best way you can. You can manifest the releasing of your fears. Keep your intentions positive with it rather than negative though. Don't say I can't let these fears go, because what you're doing is you're creating more. You've got to be careful how you word it. So if you need your manifesting plans doing, just drop me an email and we'll get them done for you. And you've got the Eight of Wands. This is things moving now. Things are shifting in your favour with the Wheel of Fortune card. It is all moving. Heart-centered emotions, they're thinking of you. It's just this block. This is the block. It's all to do with that. If you're in a long distance relationship, again, it's the same situation. What happens at the end of this long distance relationship, whether you move in together or whether you do this, that and the other, that is going to depend on your individual circumstances, because you are all very, very different. So there isn't a collective mutual energy on that. But the collective mutual energy is that it is moving. And it is shifting in your favour, and you've got your Ten of Cups and the Sun card. It is all going to work out. The masculine energy is going to be coming towards you. Sun's always masculine, Moon is always feminine. The fire's there, it's all building, it's all moving, it's all shifting. Everything you want is in front of you. So try not to let these fears get to you. Let me pull you one of these. Well, let's pull you a couple of these. Can I have some cards for those that put deck number 1 about the blocks, or anything you want to tell them? Got ya. Yeah. Just one. Anyone want one? These are kind of echoing. Let me just try one more time. It'll jump out again if it needs to. This one, please. Yeah, it's kind of echoing what I did the other day. So I did these cards in the reading the other day. So this is talking about structure again. So this is saying if you try and push it before it's ready, you're not going to have the right structure to the situation. It's not going to be able to build its stable foundations and move it forward. It's not going to be able to do that. And you're up and down like a yo-yo. Keep focusing on yourself. You are having a period of healing. You are having a period of rest. The tears are being cried. Some of you are feeling really, really heartbroken at the moment. And there's more likely to be the distant ones, but with the distance ones, etc, it's all the same. It's a mutual energy. You need a period of healing. You need to gain your strength. You need to trust yourself rather than trying to trust them. And endurance is moving forward. It's not if you want the healing and the structure, and you want this to move forward, you kind of, in the best way possible, you've got to endure it. There's people trying to hold it up for you. You're trying to hold up this. You're feeling really heavily burdened by it. You're trying to hold up your castle, your happiness, and your heart-centered emotions. Remember, relationship is a two-way street, and you're not on your own with it. It's just these fears are rising to the surface, and you're feeling unstable with it. Take the time, rest up, look after yourself, half hour out every day for you. If you need to watch the video on self-love, that's in the description. If you need to watch the video on manifesting, that is in the description. Just keep focusing on you for a while. Try not to let the fears win, whether you're in a long distance relationship or whether the person is being distant. It's all fear-based. And that is deck number 1. Okay, so let's do deck number 2. So here we go. 1040. Can I have the collective? I got right itchy face today. And my hair is blowing in my eyes. The collective energy for deck number 2, please. Those watching, can I have the collective energy for deck number 2? Collective energy for deck number 2. And think about your person. Can I get into the collective mutual energy of the person's thoughts, feelings, emotions, and thought processes? So again, if you've just tuned in, tapped in, tuned in, turned on, this is to do with if you're in a long distance relationship or if your person is being distant with you. So kind of broadening the scope of it. Because, you know, they always say, spiritual people say separation is illusion. I do personally, I struggle with thinking about that when they say we are all one. I understand it from a consciousness level, but I don't feel we are, well, that's my personal opinion. I find it hard to believe in it. Not believe in it, but I just find it hard to kind of get my head around it. We are all one. I guess on a consciousness level we are, but I am going off on one. Okay, can I have, I'm sorry guys, can you tell me please about long distance and distant relationships, please? What's happening here? 2, 3, 4. My dog's trying to find me cards down there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the majority of you that have picked this deck, you aren't massively in communication with your person. You might be having little bits of contact here and there, but it's a bit of a muddled up situation. You are still clinging onto it with the 4 of Pentacles. They are also clinging onto it. You've got the Queen, King and Queen of Cups over here. I love this deck because they make pictures when they come together. So your energies kind of, you are meeting in the middle. You've got them both together. This is a dynamic partnership that is going on. It's just the communication which seems to be a problem. The communication is what is pulling you two apart. Some of you are in contact, but it's little. Some of you aren't in contact because they are being distant. And if you're in a long-term relationship, you are not getting what you want from this relationship because they are being quieter with you. That is what's happening in this collective reading with you all. You are hanging on to this situation with the 4 of Pentacles. They are sitting on the wall, trying to work it all through in their head. They're trying to get more stable. They're feeling quite up and down like a yo-yo, moving things forward. The jigsaw pieces are getting really, really, really confused. And again, it's in this period of growth and transformation and things are shifting, but it doesn't feel like anything is happening at this point in time. And that's because this person has withdrawn, majority of you, this person has withdrawn from the situation to work out what is going on. You are then heartbroken with the 3 of Swords, feeling like you've been stabbed in the heart, left alone. And whilst you still love each other and you do feel, majority of you feel that you know this person loves you, but it doesn't stop the pain, because they have gone extremely distant with you, and you're clinging on to it, hoping that things are going to change. I'm being told to tell you that if this person was this way when you met them, you cannot get people to change. You should always remember that when it comes to trust in relationships, I always think it's best to talk about trust as if you trust, rather than trusting in a person not to hurt you, you have to trust that they were the person the first day that you met them and they haven't changed. You can't get people to change very easily unless they are having some kind of spiritual awakening, and then they are most likely to change themselves. But if you want to mould them into your pattern, please be aware that it's not that simple. Okay, so if they are being distant with you, you're going to have to just give it some element of time. Got Page of Wands, Page of Swords. This person can be quite immature with the situation. They seem to act on passion and logic rather than acting on emotions and thinking things through. Even though they love you and they have strong feelings towards you and you have this dynamic partnership, they tend to be very spur of the moment, and that can upset you as well. Some of them are going out for evenings and they're not texting you, and you're at home waiting and panicking. Some of you aren't in that much contact that is happening. They're feeling quite tied down to the situation at the moment. I don't know if you can see, there's a person here quite camouflaged by it. They're almost feeling as if they're a little bit invisible within the relationship. Why are they feeling invisible? Why is the person feeling invisible? Need to clear John please, thank you. Yeah, because they're feeling like, with the Death card, they're feeling like it's all coming to some kind of closure. They are panicking that it's coming to a closure. And because they're feeling invisible, you need to be really careful what lines you tread with this person. You do not want to lose them. They do love you, but they are worrying about it at the moment. They feel invisible. They're feeling like their opinions do not matter. So please be careful with what is happening with this situation. You're going to struggle. Again, this isn't all of you, this is some of you within the collective. You are going to struggle for this situation to carry on if you're both beating yourself up, doing the same patterns over and over and over again, because this person's getting invisible, feeling as if they can't move the situation forward. So please just be aware of that before you fly off the handle at them. Try to take a step back and count to 10. And again, with the 2 pages, this will be because of the immaturity, and it isn't based on emotion, it's based on them being spur of the moment, thinking, right, this isn't working, I could do this, I could do that. However, the good news is, if you handle it properly and you're careful and they are careful, some of you will sit down and have a heart-to-heart conversation with them. Some of you will speak on the phone about it. You've got the 4 of Wands, which is your happiness, Ace of Wands and 10 of Pentacles. So it's more of a wobble that is happening. Long distance relationships are hard, and if the person is distant from you and they aren't texting you that much, that's going to make it even harder for you, or your individual circumstances. So that is what is happening. You've got all your positive cards here. Things can shift forward and they can move. Be an allowance of your relationship. That's the best advice for you at this point in time. Just be an allowance of it. Let it naturally unfurl. Don't try and pick the rose plant before it's ready, because you will break the petals. And that is why the Death card has shown up. So just be aware of that. This situation has got to step into its new beginnings, and we can't do that whilst you're still beating up yourself over the same cycle over and over, what they're doing, who they're with, why they're talking, blah 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 blah. This is why it has to end, so it can move forward to its next chapter. Can I have some advice for those that picked deck number 2, please? Any advice? Yeah. Set yourself free. Try not to be a victim to your own thoughts. I know it's easier said than done, but a thought cannot hurt you. It's just what extent we put on it that does hurt you. There is a lot of choices and decisions that are coming up for you both. Keep your eyes wide open, please. Think things through, and think it through on an emotional perspective and a logical perspective. Weigh up your choices. Majority of you are going to choose love. And with this card here, with the freedom, you've got 2 sides of it, you and them. 2 blue clouds for visits, and the rainbow at the top for merging in the middle, the heart in the middle of your heart-centered energy, and the stars around it for being on the right path. Choices, decisions, and happiness. So this is a short wobble, a short-lived wobble. Again, yeah, the situation with the release card and with the death card, this situation can't carry on in this cycle. The cycle has got to break with your choices, and then you'll step forward into your freedom card. And that is what's happening. So, if you want to book a private reading, email mysticlovetarot@gmail.com. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's just mysticlovetarot. And I love you all. And I'll speak to you soon. Lots of love, guys. Bye. Bye.